Hi guys, it's Michael, and this is my review of the Ninja hot and cold brew system. This is the model CP301. I'm a coffee fanatic. I like making coffee, I like drinking coffee, and I use all different types of methods to make my coffee. Everything from pour overs to French press to espresso machines. You name it, I probably have it or have had it at one point in time. This unit here is going to replace a lot of my things. I'm not going to have to use my Keurig anymore because I can make a single cup of coffee in this at a time, which is awesome. It'll also make a full pot of coffee. It'll make a half a pot of coffee. It'll do a cold brew. It'll make tea. It's just really very versatile, and this one unit does it all, and I really like it a lot. I've been just having a ball using this. I was most impressed with the fact that I can make a single cup of coffee with this and not have to use my Keurig anymore. No more littering the landscape with K-cups. I really like this a lot. I also like the fact that it has a fold-away frother built right into it. So this milk frother works really well, and for cleaning it just unscrews like this. You can make warm froth if you'd like. All you have to do is pour your milk or almond milk or soy milk or whatever you want to use into a cup and heat it up in your microwave for a little while, maybe 30 to 40 seconds or so. It also has a scoop which stores on the side of the unit, and this scoop actually tells you how much coffee to be used for each size of beverage that you want to make. It's pretty handy in case you can't remember. And then on this side, you have a removable water reservoir. I really like the removable reservoir. First of all, it's easy to handle. It just has a very convenient sort of indentation here for grabbing it. And it's also ribbed, so you get a really good grip on this. And you can fill this up all the way, even though you're only going to make a single cup of coffee. This is an intelligent brewer, so it only uses as much water as it needs to make that single cup of coffee. So I think that's really cool. These are the controls here. You have different sizes of brews that you can make with this thing. It's really awesome. It's very convenient. You can make a single cup of coffee, which is going to be about 9 ounces. You can make an XL size, which is going to be about 11 ounces. You can make a travel mug of coffee, which is going to be about 14 ounces. And then they have an XL size here, which is giving you about 18 ounces. You can make a half a pot of coffee, or you can make a full pot of coffee. And then you have choices of brew styles for coffee. You have classic, rich, over ice, cold brew, or specialty. And the difference between classic and rich, basically rich is going to use a little bit less water, and it also pre-infuses the coffee grounds with water before it actually starts to fully brew the coffee. So it really gets all those grounds completely saturated and gives you a better extraction. So they've really thought this out well, and I have to say it really is a delicious cup of coffee. Now, for making just a single cup of coffee, there's a little tray that folds down here, so you can put your coffee cup in there. And all you have to do is measure your coffee using the scoop that I just showed you. And for a single cup of coffee, we could put in, let's just say 3 scoops of the small size. Now you get a permanent filter here for your coffee. If you don't want to use the permanent filter, you can just take that out and then use a paper filter instead. And so you don't destroy the taste of your teas, they give you a separate tea basket. So you put the filter in there, permanent filter again, put your tea in there, and it'll also recognize different types of tea, and it'll adjust the brew temperature accordingly. So it's going to be able to brew it differently, whether you use a herbal tea, a black tea, a oolong, or a green tea, and that is pretty smart thinking on their part. So to make a single cup of coffee, I'll make this while I'm talking. I'm just going to put in 3 small scoops, and I'm just going to make the small size of coffee. So I adjust the size to small, and I'm going to make it rich. Just close this up. And I've already got water in my water reservoir. My cup is ready to go. I've pushed the on button. Let me show you that. You've got the clock up here. You can also delay start. If you want to delay start, you just push this, we'll actually turn it on first, then push delay start, and you can set your start time if you want to make a pot of coffee. But if you don't, and I don't, I want to make a cup of coffee right now. I'm going to move this to a regular cup, classic. Actually, I want rich, so I'm going to move it down to rich. And I am going to push the start button, and it's going to start making the cup of coffee. Now, like I said, it's going to put a little bit of water in the grounds first. It's going to pre-infuse the grounds, and then it will continue to make the coffee. And I believe it takes about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes, I think, to make a single cup of coffee. And actually, that's not much longer than it actually takes my Keurig to make a cup of coffee once it preheats and gets ready to go. So I'm really impressed with this. Now, it is a little large, but we have 18-inch tall counters here, and I think this thing stands 15 inches tall. Yep, just about 15 inches tall. It does have cord storage in the back. You can just push the cord inside, so that's kind of cool. It does have a warming tray here when you're making a half pot or a full pot of coffee, and actually you can adjust the temperature to high or low. And it will also gradually reduce the temperature automatically, so that you don't, if your pot of coffee, your carafe, is sitting on there for several hours, it will actually reduce the temperature as time goes on, which I think is really a great feature as well. How many times you had your old Mr. Coffee machine and that coffee was just basically baked on that warming tray. So it's a very intelligent coffee brewer, and it's so versatile. Now, when you make cold brew, it's probably not the way that a purist would make cold brew. It actually does warm the water a little bit, not as hot as coffee, but it does warm the coffee, and it does take about 10 minutes to make a cup of cold brew. And you basically brew the coffee into a cup, but you use a little extra coffee, and because it's a little bit warmer, it does extract as much as it can out of those grounds in that 10-minute period of time. Overall, just an awesome brewing system here. Very intelligent. I think it's fairly attractive, and it just has so many great features, a lot of which I haven't even gone into, but there are other features. You can adjust the parameters of what it's doing here, and it's really great. So it's going to eliminate my Keurig. I'll be able to get rid of my pot that I use for boiling water for tea. It's going to help me declutter my kitchen a little bit, because I just have this one very cool device that'll make several different styles of coffee and what have you. And another feature that I almost forgot about is the built-in frother. Now, you can make cold froth, or you can make hot froth. If you want to make hot froth, just warm up your milk before you put it into the frother here. So with the frother, you get your cup and you fill it about 1/3 full. You simply insert it in here and just push this button. And you just want to barely immerse the tip of the frother into your milk. And you can see the volume increasing here. It doesn't take long. And we've basically doubled the volume, if not tripled the volume here in just a very short amount of time. And it's a really nice, rich froth. For cleaning, this simply unscrews like this. You can quickly rinse it off. And there we go, we're ready to go for the next time. So there you go, there's my cup of coffee. I didn't time it, but it's been a couple minutes probably, and it's a really nice, rich cup of coffee. Awesome, I love this thing. Hope you enjoyed watching this. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll try to answer if I can. But otherwise, you have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out a lot. See you guys.